Mastering defense in 2K24 takes a lot of skill, but if you ask me, it's mainly IQ. One of the first things you want to make sure you do as soon as you load the game up is go adjust your controller settings. And to do this, you're going to go to the main menu. You can't do it in the park or the city. Go to the main menu, go to your settings, and then go over to controller settings. And once you get to this page right here, you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you're going to see who to guard, defensive strength, and all these other settings. And I recommend putting your who to guard on. I've seen people turn it off. They feel like it affects the control they have over the player, and they can move more freely when you have it off. But I think it causes a lot of confusion, not knowing who to guard, not knowing who your man is when you're getting back in transition or whatever it may be. So I recommend having it on. And then for defensive assist strength, I have mine set at 20, but I've seen this range anywhere from 0 to all the way to 50. And all it does is the more the game is going to help you play defense basically. And then the lower you have it, the more it's going to be pure stick skill. It's going to be all on you. You're going to have complete control over your player. So I go somewhere in between because I don't want the game to just be pulling me all kind of different ways. And I also don't want to rely on my input delay and me having to move my stick left or right and hold down the LT and it all being on me. This right here is just one of the tips in this video that's going to help you become a better defender. So make sure you watch this video all the way through so that you don't miss nothing important. All right, the next thing I want to talk about are the badges that will make you better at playing defense. And right now I'm on my 6'6", so I'm not on the big man and I won't be able to show you big man badges, but I'll go over those as well while I'm talking through this. But as you can see right now, I have glove on Hall of Fame and I have intercept on Hall of Fame, and I'm able to get those because I have a 91 still on this build. And those two badges right there paired with right stick ripper, I don't have it maxed out right now, it's on bronze, but having this on gold or the highest level you can get it is a very good badge, especially whenever you pair it with glove. It's been kind of nerfed a little bit throughout the year, but I still think it's a top tier combo. And then along with interceptor as well, if you don't have interceptor at all, you're not going to get any lane steal. It's almost impossible to get lane steals if you don't have interceptor, at least on silver. And those are 3 badges that are definitely going to make your life a whole lot easier whenever you're playing defense, especially on the perimeter. And interceptor is also going to help those off-ball defenders, centers, or anybody in the corner, whatever it may be. And some other good defensive badges that I don't have on this build are badges like chase down, anchor, maybe pogo stick, depending on how you play. Chase down I don't have on this build, and it's not something I really want to go for because the majority of the time I want to make sure that I'm staying in front of my defender so I don't get put in a position where I have to get a chase down block. But if you do have it, you have it at least on gold. That is a very good badge, and it does give you some bailout sometimes. Another good badge that a lot of centers are going to have, or maybe some lockdowns depending on how you make your build, is anchor. And anchor is a top tier badge. The paint defense is kind of broken, so sometimes you're going to get scored on even if you have on anchor, especially with people running around with 94 drive and dunk. Now you're going to get put in contact dunks. But anchor is a very good badge, and it helps you get a whole bunch of stops in the paint. So all these badges I just went over are badges I recommend you try to aim to get on your build whenever you're making your build, and make sure that you upgrade them so that they can help you get better at defense. A lot of them you don't necessarily need them, but they're going to help you get better by boosting attributes or making your success rate go up by doing certain things like on-ball steals or chase down blocks, whatever it may be. Moving on to the next tip, we're going to talk about when to jump and when to not. So I see this a lot and it really bothers me, but if you are in front of the offensive player, you do not have to jump. I see a lot of centers do this. They'll be in the paint and they'll have good positioning and they'll still jump. They might get a stop, but they might not. And then also if they get a stop, they're not in position to get the rebound. So now they're jumping to block a shot that they were already going to contest and they were going to miss a shot anyway because they got their hands up and they got anchor and all these other badges. But instead they jump, they might get the block, it might go out of bounds. So now the other team gets to reset and they still got the ball, or you might get the block and then somebody else gets the rebound that's not on your team and then they get the ball and they reset again. So I recommend if you're in good position, if you're between the man and the basket, just put your hands up because they're either going to make it or they're not, and you got a better chance of recovering the ball after contesting if you don't jump and put yourself out of position. And even with the 94 plus driving dunks and people doing contact dunks, if you're in front of them, their meter is going to be itty bitty, so it's going to be pretty hard to time that meter. So just stay in front of them, put your hands up, have good positioning. It's all about positioning, IQ, knowing where to be, communicating with your teammates, and you're going to be good. Now for the times when I do think you need to jump, the majority of the time this is probably going to be on the 1s court or the 2s court or something like that, because if you're playing anything else, most of the time you should have your teammates rotating, but you might not sometimes. But I only want to see you jumping is when you're completely beat. Whenever you're chasing down your opponent, he's in front of you about to go in for a layup or a dunk, then I recommend you jump. And I only say jump if you have chase down. If you don't have on chase down, there's no point of jumping because you're not going to block the ball. It's going to give you a horrible animation. You're not even going to come close. But if you have that chase down badge on and you are completely beat, I do recommend jumping to get that block. And whenever you do jump, hold down Y or triangle depending on what console you're on. Hold it down and it's going to give you a better jump animation. I also say jump whenever you're on the perimeter and you're probably 90% sure that the person with the ball is going to shoot the ball and you're closing out late. I have seen some good contests right here and I have seen some good blocks come from this, but it's very rare. Most of the time you just want to put your hands up, contest. If they make it, they make it. If they don't, then you can just get the ball back, get the rebound, and go back the other way. So I'll say about 80% of the time you're going to be having your hands up, contesting, and that's it. You don't want to be jumping everywhere and putting yourself out of position because that's no good for anybody on the defense. Now we're moving on to on ball and off ball steals, and this is mainly going to consist of getting steals on ball, lane steals, and also bump steals. So first for on ball steals, you really only want to attempt these steals if you have on the badges I talked about earlier: glove, right stick ripper. And a lot of people just spam the steal button or spam the right stick whenever they're trying to get steals, but it's kind of an art to it. So whenever you see a guard doing a certain move or you think that he's about to do a certain move, that's what you want to reach. So a lot of the main moves in this game are the Jamal Murray behind the back, the snatch back, maybe escape crossover, whatever it may be, whatever move he's doing, a momentum dribble. When you think he's about to do that move, LeBron James hot back, that's a crazy one. Whenever you feel like he's about to do one of those moves or you see him about to activate those moves, that's when you want to flick your right stick to get that steal. This method of getting on ball steal is going to work 9 out of 10 times, I promise you. But you want to time whenever you're getting your steals. Good locks in this game don't just spam the steal button. They know when they're going to hit the steal, and they're watching their opponent. They're watching what moves he's doing. They're seeing what moves he likes to do. If he does a crab and he goes behind the back, they know he likes to do that move, so they know when he does that crab instead of behind the back, they know to spam before he activates that next move. So it's gonna give you a crazy steal animation. Steals in this game are super overpowered. All you really need is an 85 steal to do what you need to do. But when it comes to on-ball steals, you wanna make sure you follow those tips. Now we're gonna talk about lanes and bump steals. This right here is more of a competitive type steals that you see in comp pro-am or comp stage. But basically a lane steal is whenever you're just playing the lanes. The majority of the time you're gonna get your lane steals when you're baiting somebody. So for example, if you're on a threes court and you're gonna go fake help, which is fake stepping, you're gonna fake step towards the ball handler and then get back. Doing this is gonna make him think that his teammate is open, but it's really not. You're baiting him to throw the ball. So you want to do that. You want to bait into the lane, and then once he throws it, that's when you want to spam your steal button, or not really spam it, but click your steal button to get that steal. You're gonna bait the lane. And other times you don't even have to bait. You just have to have IQ and know what the offensive player is thinking and when he's gonna throw the ball. And if you know that, if you have IQ, if you have basketball IQ, defense is the easiest thing in the game if your player allows you to do it. Sometimes you want to psych off the person you're guarding a little bit to make the guard on the other team think that they're open, and you can bait the steal and get lanes like that. Onto blitz steals, these are super overpowered, and there are a few different ways you can do blitz steals. If a guard's coming up the court, and let's say I'm not guarding ball, but my teammate is, and he's forcing them up the sideline, I can take the risk of blitzing. If my other teammate behind me can rotate over to my man, I can take the risk of blitzing his ball hand. So if my teammate's riding his hip right here, I'm gonna blitz this hand right here, and I'm just gonna spam the steal button and run into the hand. It's gonna give me a steal, and that's a blitz steal. That right there catches a lot of people because it's not real life, it's a game, and they can't really change direction or anything. And the majority of the time, people aren't even looking to pass the ball. So while he's getting bumped on his right side, you blitz that left hand, and that's an easy steal. Another type of blitz, which is kind of on ball, is whenever you're playing on ball defense and say he's dribbling in his right hand, you're gonna play this left hip. If he's a crazy dribbler, if he likes to spam different dribble moves, that's how you stop cheesy dribble moves. If he's dribbling with the ball in his right hand, play his left hip, and whenever you see him about to crossover, that's why you want to hit the steal button. It's going to give you a steal majority of the time. Real quick, if you're enjoying the video so far, go down and hit that like button for me, and if you're new, hit that sub button. I really appreciate it. Let's get into this next tip. Now we're going to go over stepping or fake stepping, which is basically helping your teammate. So you might hear some pro players or comp stage players or comp pro players refer to something as a step or a fake step, and basically all they're saying is to step up and help, or that fake like you're going to help but get back. Majority of the time you're going to see this from your wing defenders or your centers. For example, if you're playing pick and roll defense and you get hit by a screen, the center may fake step and then get back, or he may step all the way. You can just switch over to the center that's rolling or popping. Same thing for my wings. If I'm on my guard and I'm guarding corner on the threes, I might fake step out of the corner and then get back and bait the other team's guard to throwing a steal or hesitating a little bit so that my lock can get back and play defense. This tip is a real quick one, but I feel like a lot of people do not know about this just because it was changed from previous 2Ks. If you're like me, who's a guard who doesn't have a lot of defense and likes to sit in the corner and not play defense, you need to switch players with your lock. And the way you did this in the past, like on 2K23, you would flick down your right stick towards whoever you're trying to guard and your arrow will switch. But this year they made it a whole lot easier if you ask me, and a lot simpler. So all you want to do is click R1 or RB depending on what console you're on, and it's just like icon passing. If you're on offense, you're gonna icon to the person you want to guard. So if you're playing threes and the point guard is X or A and you want to guard the 2 guard or the lock, which is B or circle, you're gonna hold down R1 or RB and then press B or circle, and it's gonna switch. And you can do this for any position on the court: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, anything. All you want to do is hold down that right bumper and then click the button whoever you want to guard. This tip right here is mainly for my on ball defenders. So whenever you're playing defense on ball, you want to force the person you're guarding towards your help, and preferably towards the help of a teammate who has good defense as well. So if I'm playing on the threes and I'm playing lock and I'm getting ISO'd at the top of the key, I want to play heavy on the ball hand side that allows me to force that offensive player towards my center, because the lineup I play with, I'm playing with a guard who doesn't really have defense, a lock, and then a center who has good defense. So I'm going to play on the side of him and then force him towards the strong side of the defense, which is going to be towards my center, so that he can help have a better chance of defending that. Now if you're guarding the pick and roll as an on-ball defender, you want to play high in the pick and roll. You never want to go under the screens. You never want to run into the screens. As an on-ball defender in the pick and roll, you want to attach to the ball handler's hip. You want to play on his hip so he can't come back. He can only go one way, and you want to force him towards your wing help. Doing this and not getting hit by the screen will allow your center to play a whole lot better when it comes to helping on a roll or helping on a slip pop, whatever it may be. If you don't get hit by that screen, it's going gonna make your center's life a whole lot easier. But if you do get hit by the screen, this is when you gotta communicate with your center and then go over what we talked about earlier with fake stepping or stepping. So if you get hit by the screen, you wanna tell your center to step and step all the way up so y'all can switch, and then you as the lock can take the roll or the slip pop, whatever it may be. But if you can get there and you're a little bit behind, your center can fake step, make that guard hesitate, and then get back to whoever they're guarding and give you time to recover. Defense is very important in this game, but so is shooting. So check out this video right here where I give you the best jump shots in the NBA 2K24.